Good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. It just got started, didn't it? Wow, I've been started a while. Hope you're having a good morning though so far, or afternoon, or evening, or even tomorrow if you're whenever you're watching this. Right? I just hope it's all going well for you. I've had an interesting morning myself. I'll let that speak for itself. And I've got an interesting day ahead. I got all kinds of things stacked up, and I hope I get to work in there between. Right? Nurse coming. I'm gonna watch my nephew this morning take command of his first company. I get to watch it on Facebook Live, y'all. That's great. Because things you can't go to sometimes, just know that you can actually get to at least witness it, and that's awesome. So I'm looking forward to getting to watch Michael this morning. Anyway, Captain, my Captain nephew, right? This morning. Anyway, and so there's just been a lot of stuff going through my brain already this morning, but my mind keeps coming back to John chapter 4. I don't even remember what I talked about yesterday. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, and so good because this has been so on my mind. I didn't want to just drill it in and drill it in, but I've been thinking so much. I think I mentioned this at one point yesterday about just how God is the true seeker. You know, Jesus said to seek first the kingdom of God, and then all these things will be added to you. Talking about our natural stuff, right? But God is the first seeker, and I think I mentioned that how He sought out Adam after he sinned, after they sinned. He sought out Noah, Abraham, and so forth. But I landed in John 4 for the last several days. I've been reading John 4 and thinking about John 4 because it was so unprecedented. It was so unusual for Jesus to go through Samaria, first of all, God forbid, on that side of the tracks. This was before there was tracks. you know, talk to a woman. It even says I think the disciples came and marveled that he talked to a woman. But no one asked him, "What are you looking for?" or "Why are you talking to her?" They didn't ask him, but they were all. John reveals that they were all thinking, raising their eyebrows, like, "Why is he talking to a woman?" They didn't ask so much why he went to Samaria, even though that was just as odd, because the Jews would go around Samaria to keep from even going through that part of town, so to speak, that part of the region, right? And so he went through Samaria just to find this woman that doesn't even have a name at a well that doesn't even have a name, right? It seems so insignificant. And yet we have this phrase in here down in verse 23. He says, "When the hour is coming and now is when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth." But listen to this, "For the Father, God, is seeking such to worship him." God is a spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. But he says God, the Father is seeking such to worship him. But he's given us a picture of a seeker here. He went through forbidden territory to speak to, God forbid, a woman at a well, a woman who wasn't even in the religious circles, so to speak. Right? He crossed party lines and everything. Oh my goodness, let's not do that. I don't even talk about that, right? The other time he did this was in John 9, and it says that that's when he healed the blind man. I love John 9. I love it because the poor guy that got healed flabbergasted. Have you heard that word in a while? Flabbergasted the Pharisees. It's hard to say. The Pharisees were flabbergasted. But anyway, he by say, because they kept asking him, "Who is it? Who's he?" And, "I don't know. I didn't see him." "Who was he? Who was he?" "I don't know. I didn't see him because he told me to go wash in the pool of Siloam, and I was blind anyway, and worked my way down there, and then by then he was gone. I don't know who he was." And then so they kept asking him questions. Finally, they said, "Do you want to be his disciple? Is that why you're asking all these questions?" And that made him mad, right? So they kicked him out of the temple. His parents had already abandoned him because they didn't want to get kicked out. But listen to this. In John 9:35, Jesus heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, he said to him, "Do you believe in the Son of God?" Right? And then he says, "Who is he that I may believe in him?" Jesus said, "You have seen him, and it is he who is talking with you." You've seen him. Get that? The significance of that? Because the guy was blind before Jesus healed him. But the whole point, I love that story. Anyway, but just like John 4 too. But the whole thing is that Jesus, it says Jesus, when Jesus heard they had cast him out, and that was a big thing for them in their culture, in their religion, in their day. It was a big thing to be kicked out of the temple. Imagine out of the temple. Imagine if you were banned from the church you were raised in or something. It's the only I can't think of anything else. The town you were born in won't let you come back. Right? It was significant. It was emotional. It was heart wrenching. And so Jesus, it said Jesus heard when they had cast him out, he found him. Just like when Jesus said he needed to go through Samaria, and he went to a plot of ground given to Joseph. Well, it was Jacob's well. I guess it did have a name, right? Jacob's well. He's at Jacob's well, and he goes. Jacob's well. How was Jacob's well there, and how did it become Samaria? I see. I get all these questions that go through my mind. How did it become a forbidden ground where Jacob's well was? Right. Anyway, and so he found the woman at the well, right? The woman came to draw water, and he started talking to her, and she was shocked. Just like here, he found the man who was cast out of the temple. Sometimes God is just he's always seeking. It's not a sometimes. He's always seeking for those who will worship him in honesty from the heart, just because you want to worship God, just because you want to know God. This woman had to have been seeking truth at on some level at some point, because Jesus came through Samaria to speak to her, to tell her that he was the Messiah. I who speak to you am he, which she says, though, because she was looking for the Messiah. That tells me that she had some amount of faith, no matter what kind of shambles her life appears to have been in, right? She said to him, I know that Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will tell us all things. And Jesus said, I who speak to you am he. He revealed himself to her as the Messiah. Now, what did he say? And look at this. Same thing with the blind man, the former blind man. We call him the blind man, but he's not, he's sighted now. He's not a blind man anymore, right? He answered and said, Lord, uh, who is he, Lord, that I may believe in him? And Jesus said to him, you have both seen him, and it is he who is talking to you. So he's saying, both of these people, he came to them and revealed. The woman, we have no idea why he went through Samaria to Jacob's well. I thought it was no name, Jacob's well, and to a woman with no name. We have a blind man with no name, and yet Jesus sought them out. Why? Because it's the Father's heart to seek out people who really want to worship him. Do you really want to worship him today? Do you want your life to just be filled with the fragrance of worship? Yeah, he's going to come to you too. If you're seeking him, and we talked about that yesterday in Jeremiah 29. If you seek him, you'll find him. But did you know you'll find him seeking you when you seek him? That's an amazing thing. It's better than a game of hide and seek. It wouldn't be much fun hide and seek if the hider doesn't hide, right? Then there's not much seeking. And God doesn't really hide from us in that sense. He reveals himself to us when we decide to look for him. So I just want to encourage you today to be a seeker. I just want to encourage you today to look for him, to to look for him in the actions of people, to look for his grace undergirding your life, to look for his mercy at work in your life and in your heart today, to look for just his interaction with that peace. Today's a good day to peace out. I got my peace out shirt on, right? And look for his peace. Embrace it. Wear it better than a t-shirt, right? And just look for him to be seeking for you. Because when you start seeking for God, you'll find that he's been waiting for you all along. He waited for the woman at the well, right? It says Jesus was weary from his journey and sat down by the well. It was the sixth hour. That was noon, I think. And the woman came to draw water. He was sitting there waiting. You'll find that he's waiting for you to seek him. But then as soon as you seek him with your heart, you turn toward him to pursue him in any way, he'll say, I'm right here. Got me. You're it. Right? And so he's seeking those who want to seek him. So it's a whole bunch of seeking going on. We're seeking him, he's seeking us, and it all ends up with a beautiful dance between God and man, right? God and humanity, I should say. Anyway, I pray that you turn your heart to seek Him today, that you find His peace wherever you go, that you find that thread of grace and mercy just interwoven throughout your life today. As you look back over your life, you'll see it. And then I just pray that He shows it to you today, that He just undergirds you with that peace and grace and mercy for today. You guys, peace out. Have a great day. I hope it's not as busy as mine. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.